Hi everyone, this is Tuplex. Welcome back. Today we're going to put together the Green Science Pack production, Logistics Science Packs. I already set up the production cell with a loading station for the product and loading stations for the ingredients, which I've already loaded in. We're going to be bringing in iron and green circuits. Because of the ingredients, we need to make transport belts, which only require iron, and we need to make inserters, which require iron. It says copper plate, but that's just to make the circuit. It's a plate, a gear, and a green circuit, so we only need to bring in iron and circuits. That's all we need in order to get those done. To get our intermediate target of 90 science per minute, should be a pretty simple and small build. We need 12 blue machines in order to achieve that. 12 blue machines making the science packs. But again, we've got a division problem. If we divide that by 8, we get 1.5. And we're looking at a 0.75. Let's see. 1.5 divided by 0.75 crafting speed. So we would need 2. Let's see. Let me try to figure out how we best build this. They take 6 seconds each. And we need 90 minutes. So normally we would have 12 of these assembly machine 2s with a crafting speed of 0.75. 12 times 0.75, that gives us a total crafting speed, crafting power of 9, if you will, which would be 18 of the assembly machine 1s. But that still doesn't divide into 8 very well, does it? So I think we'll just have to overproduce, or we'll have excess capacity, just because with these low numbers it's hard to round off to a very even number of machines. That's okay. We could have worse problems than that. Okay, signals are working. Yeah, so we normally want 12. I'll just do 2. I'll just have 2 machines on each. If I did 2 level 1s, let's see, what's the ratio here? Level 1s are 0.5 crafting speed, right? Versus 0.75. So it's a 3-to-2. 3-to-2 ratio. 2 of these is too many, and I think 2 of these is not enough. Yeah, we would need 18. If I divide that by 8, that's still 2 point something, so we would be short. And if I went with 3, then that would give me 24 of those. Yeah, so either way we're gonna have to round up and get over our target production rate. Okay, so as usual, let's start in the middle so that we make things nice and centered and symmetrical. Okay, so this is the middle, if I'm not mistaken. Let's just double check that. Yes. Okay, so we'll do our first one over here. Okay, so we're going to need gears we're going to need underground belts, and we're going to need inserters. So if we start, let's line up our first machine with that one. Okay, so that'll go right there. So how could we do this? I could put, I think in this case, one machine making gears should be enough to feed both. Right, so if I did belts here, and I did inserters there, with a shared belt, I think that will be enough. Just trying to see how much iron per second am I going to need for 2 of these things. If I have 2 of these machines, I'm going to be making 1 every 3 seconds. So I'm going to need 5.5 iron every 3 seconds. Yeah, which is like 2 to 3 per second, something like that. So 1 belt should be enough. Oh, you know what? I have max rate calculator. Okay, yeah, less than half a belt, no problem. So we can do a shared belt of the iron plate and the circuits, right? And we'll just feed them all like this. Gears go to either side. Let's put the inserters there so that we can place our power poles nicely. Oh, okay, yeah, and then we can stop this here. And then on the output side, I think if I put the output belt right here, yeah, that lines up nicely with what we've got up there. So let's put that. All right. Now in this case, I need to get, oh, no, I don't want that. Let's see here. Well, these could output here, but then I need to get them over to this side so that I can have the output of the science packs come out here. All right. So then I have the usual problem of how I get things onto the side of the belt that I want. Okay, I suppose I could just do this. That's simple enough. Okay. Pretty easy. Okay, and then I guess if I space this out one more, then I can save 1 power pole. There. And then we just copy this 7 more times. So that's 4. And 4. And this shouldn't take too long for the bots to build. I think I've got enough of everything. And then when this is done, we'll get to work on the military science packs, which is going to be a bit more difficult. I'm going to help with the placement of belts here. At this stage of the game, the bots are really not the best tool to use for placing belts, because there's so many individual items and they can only put down one at a time and it takes forever. But for doing stuff like inserters and things like that that are difficult to place precisely by hand, that's where they really shine. Okay, and I'm not going to give these power until I've got all the belt connections made, so I'm going to hold off there. All right, so like I said, we want a shared belt, so we could just do this. Now that will cause, I think that's going to cause some unevenness in how these unload, but we'll see how this goes. Okay, so let me start copying this. Oh, one thing I wanted to point out is a rail car full of green circuits contains 8,000, and a rail car full of iron plate contains 4,000. But here I didn't see the need to have such a high inventory level of green circuits, since these are actually going to be used much less than the iron plate will be. So over here I'm still dividing by 4,000. So that way I won't bring in another train of green circuits until I have like half of a cargo wagon of inventory here. And I think for now that's going to be more than sufficient. Okay, now is this going to... Yeah, this repeats pretty nicely. Good. Okay, and then let's do the output side as well. And for that, I'm going to enlist some aid from my other robot buddies to make this process go a bit faster. That means I'm going to have to give this power. Oh, this one didn't line up properly. Okay. All right. So I'll keep the belts. I'll keep the belts cut. There. Let's make sure all that does what I think it will. All right. We're getting belts and inserters. And off we go. Okay. Very nice. Okay. Let's get that hooked up. Put the bots in, and then I'm gonna need a lot more belts, so I'll grab belt from the train. So this will be fairly quick and easy. Okay, and I'm just going to leave... I'm going to leave a gap of 1 tile here just so I can make sure that the bots finish all this before I start sending it down the line. That way we'll start our production from the very beginning with a nice balanced output. Okay, awesome. And that reaches all the way to the top. Let's put another RoboPort here so we can charge more easily. All right, so while we're waiting for that, so for the military science, we're going to need pretty much one of everything. We need stone, we need coal, iron plate, copper plate, and steel plate. So that's going to mean 5 incoming rail stations. I think we need to have an upgrade path for RoboPorts in this game. This is ridiculous. Well, I mean, it is what it is. It's not ridiculous. It's just the way the game is designed. But I think it would be nice to have a Mark II RoboPort. Okay. So I'll take these belts back. And then we'll place that down. There. And we're off. Just make sure we have a complete belt path here. Looks good. Okay. And we're starting to reach the limit of our 2 reactors already. So the steam power will probably be kicking in soon, especially once we start doing the military science. Okay, so our work here is done. Okay, so military science I decided to put up here for a reason that I don't now recall. Was I just getting out of the way? I might have just been getting out of the way of green circuits. I could probably also put it here. Why don't I do that? Why don't I put it here? I don't remember why I chose that spot in particular, but I think I'll do it down here instead. Oh. I'm in the wrong view. Yeah, so let's delete that. And let's put it here so we can start to fill in some of these empty spaces. All right. Okay. So I'm going to copy this. Get out of the train. Okay, this gives me the loading station side of it. The stacker I'm going to do a little bit differently. Okay, let's put in a RoboPort or two. Okay, and you guys are going to need rail. You're going to need some signals. You're going to need some belts, inserters, chests. All right, so we'll let them work on some of that while I paste down some of these other prints. Yeah, so rather than do the stacker like this, since I'm going to have 5 inputs, I think I want a normal stacker, and then I'll just loop straight up and across and then straight down so that I can fit in more stations. Okay, so I'll just copy this one down to there. And I'll put that over here. Okay, and let's get rid of extra belts. Okay. So we'll do the rest of this part with personal bots. Okay, and this is going to be military science pack load. All right, and let's go build our stacker over here. Probably don't really need a stacker on the input side for science packs. Even at maximum output, I doubt I'm going to need more than 1 train for each one. But I like having a consistent design. You know what I should have done when I was laying out the grid? I should have included all these input and output stackers in the grid blueprint. That would have saved, well, it wouldn't really save time, but because I have to build it either way. All right, let's remove that signal. Ah, why do I keep getting that signal there? I keep copying that same unnecessary chain signal. Okay. Then let's go do the other stacker. On the input side. All right, and before I go there, I want to remove that signal, and that one can stay, and that one has to go. You know what? Maybe that signal was intended to take the place of this one. Maybe that's why that one was there in the blueprint. I think I added that one myself. Okay. So, yeah, so we'll have stations there. We can have a station straight ahead. And actually, I think we can also have the station below. It might make things a little bit messy on the exit side, but I want to squeeze all the input stations as close to the side as possible. copy this much on the other end. Okay, as long as I have those signals there, then I can see where things need to go. Okay, so that can be the exit side. Now this one down here will have to have its own exit path, since it's too far down to join into this straight section. Okay, but that's not a problem. One more. Will this go straight down? No, that one's too close as well. All right. So let's undo, Control Z, go back to how that was before. There we go. Okay. All right, so any other stations can join that that vertical section. Okay, and then if I have my stations right there, right, this is 12, so this is where the end of my trains is going to be. Which should give me plenty of room to loop over. Yeah, so I'll have enough space, and I can stack then as many input stations as I need over here. And I'm out of rail. Okay, let's get my train closer. Come on down here. I don't need 2,000. Put half of that back. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I could do something like that. All right, I'm going to hold off on any additional stations, because one of the other things that I need to do is I need to route all of my belts in between these stations. With these two, for example, they're fairly close together, so I'm already giving myself a bit of a challenge in routing all my belts. So let's figure out the belts that we're going to need first. Okay. So here's our middle. And for these, I'm going to need 10 machines. Ugh. How can I figure out crafting power? What if I have 10 machines with a 0.75 crafting time? Yeah, so 10 times 0.75, so I need a total crafting power of 7.5. If I divide that by 0.5, that means I would need 15. Yeah, so let's use level 1 assemblers this time, because I need 15. I can do 2 each, and that way I'll only be overproducing by a little bit. So I'll do 5, 10, 15, 16. Okay, so let's do like a prototypical military science build here, and then we'll be able to figure out how to manage our belts and so forth. Okay, so we need to make piercing rounds, grenades, and walls. So we'll just start from the beginning. So piercing rounds, take steel, copper, and iron, more or less. Actually, I'll do all the ingredients with blue machines. All right, so the first thing we're going to need to make is the magazine. What else do we need iron plate for? Grenades. Okay, so these plus the grenades both need iron plate. And how many machines do I need making grenades? These take 8 seconds each. I'm gonna need one every 10 seconds to feed the 2 machines. Because I have a half a second crafting time, right? One every 10 seconds, and if I do 0.75, yeah, I'm going to need 2 machines making grenades, if I'm not mistaken. Whoops. Here, let's, I'm going to make use of max rate calculator here. Okay, so 2 of these making science packs. Control N. Okay, let's look at items per minute. Items per second. Okay, so I'm going to need 0.1 grenades per second. This is going to give me 0.18 per second. Right, yeah, so I just barely need a second machine here. All right, you know what, let's do the grenades first in line, and then I'll do the ammunition. Because then I can put this one afterwards. Okay, and I need 0.1 per second on the fancy ammo, so 1 machine is more than enough there. And then I need 0.2 per second on walls. Okay. I'm covered with one of those. And how many furnaces do I need to make the bricks? I won't know until I put some stone in it. Well, I can figure this out. Let's see. I need 7.5 bricks. Well, no, I don't need this to run nonstop. I need 0.2 walls per second. 5 times 0.2 is 1, so I need 1 per second, actually less than 1 per second on the furnace. Um, 3.2 seconds. All right, so I think I'm going to need 3 furnaces. think. All right, so let's do the furnaces there. Okay, so it's going to look something like this. Now I just have to figure out how to get everything fed in. All right, so I'll feed this a full belt of stone. Maybe I don't want to output on that side. Let's see. Probably I do. We'll keep it like that for now. Okay. Yeah, and the stone only has to come up this far, right? And then we can exit like that. Do I not have any belts? I guess I don't. Excuse me. Okay, so the brick comes out here. Okay, that can exit there. Okay, I got it now. Right, it's only 3 ingredients. There. Okay, so that's stone. This can be iron, or we can do iron and coal on this belt. Actually, let's bring stone up here. I'm going to make some constant combinators so I can mark this. Okay. So let's do that this way instead. So that'll be stone on both sides of the belt. All right, this will be iron. Let's do iron and coal here to feed all this. And then I just need copper and steel up there, and we can make this, let's see. All right, I need a fast inserter on the input. Actually, let's make sure that, yeah, I can share a belt, because iron and coal to build all this need less than half a belt each. All right, I do need to use fast inserters on these inputs. Okay, one power pole there, one power pole there. Let's do one there and one there. Okay. Right, so then this, we need a belt of copper and steel. And what I think we can do, to make this more compact, we can do that. Okay. So I think that's the build. Let me send my train back to get more belts. Actually, I should probably go with it. All right, too late. We'll wait a minute. Okay, I think this will work. So the stone is going to be on its own belt, and then we'll have shared belts of the other 4 ingredients. All right, so let's start designing the input side. So we might as well do iron on the bottom. In which case I can just copy this. Okay, and there's no priority schema assigned yet, which is good. That way it won't start until I want it to. Okay, let's bring the train back. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go back to the base myself. I'm going to need a lot more chests and inserters and stuff. In addition to the belts. Now I wonder if I could combine the belts all on this side. I could, but they wouldn't unload evenly. You know, I could just have inserters on both sides going directly onto a single belt. Yeah, but then the chest wouldn't unload evenly, so I can't really do that. All right, so we're gonna have to do something like this. Where'd I copy that from? Okay, let me copy the rest of this too, and then I'm going to change this to QoL. Okay, military science pack. Okay, and I need one of those too, but I don't have the ingredients. Okay, let's go back home. Need to refill on just about everything. Let's get 100 lights. Let's get 100 steel chests. I'll need to make several trips for this, I think. Let's get more of those. One stack should be enough. Okay, and then I'm also going to grab some gears. Let's grab a few stacks of copper plate, you know, so that I can more easily craft things in the field. All right. I don't really need any red belt. Okay, so here we're going to be working on coal instead of plate, and that's going to be 2,000. I think I'm going to put the stone last, so that way that full belt will just exit directly from the top. We'll do all the shared belt shenanigans here in the middle. And actually, I think what might help it, what might help this stuff load, unload more evenly is if I do this. Will that allow it to pull from both sides of the belt? Okay, yeah, let's finish this. This is going to have to move up, I think. Let's finish this off with some lights. Okay, and I'm gonna move this way up here to give myself more room. Let's give myself a lot more room. There. Okay, I've got plenty of gears. I don't think I'll run out of those anytime soon. All right, will this make it better? Well, why don't we test it? Okay, let's do a test. No, I still have one side of the belt not getting pulled. Okay, so I think that's not going to be necessary. I've seen this done in some of Alexi's bases as well as some other places. I think originally this was a way to load, to get blue belts to side load, but I don't really, I guess I don't really understand it. I think at high speeds you might need to do that to get good compression. All right. So in this case, I'm just going to do it like this. Actually, let's stop it right there. We'll figure out what to do. There. All right, so if I have more stations up here, then that means I don't want these belts to go straight. They're going to need to go around. So I think what I need to do is leave room for 4 belts this way. And 4 belts the other way. Yeah. Like that. And then they can cross on either side. Right? And then, yeah, we can put our next station right there. Okay, and then that's going to be right there. Okay, so these 4 will exit right there. And I'm not going to bring any trains in until I get this all figured out, because if I have to rework any of it, I don't want to have to I don't want to have a bunch of chests and belts that need to be emptied out in order to rebuild it. Okay, so that's iron and coal. And then I need a copper and a steel. All right, so I'm going to copy all this minus the red belts. Which I guess would be a copy of what I have down there, right? That would have been easier. Yeah, actually what I need is this again, right? Now later on when I have blue belts, and more specifically blue underground belts, then things will get a little bit easier. Okay, and then we can do that there. Because with the blue undergrounds, we can span longer distances. 9 tiles, if I'm not mistaken. And that'll allow us to be a little more flexible in how we route all these belts. Okay. I always misjudge where to where to start making my turn. There we go. We'll put that one there. Okay, and then I think all of this will be the same as well. All of this part where we combine things. But we're going to have to go farther for the exit. I'll go back with the train for more belts because I'm going to need more splitters and undergrounds and stuff too. Right, and then in this case, I want those to exit there. Crap. Okay. Yep. So I'll have to do this. Yeah, it's too bad I didn't have these move down one tile. I mean, I guess I couldn't. This is probably optimal. One, two, three, four. Okay, actually there's not going to be any more above that. So I can actually put that signal right there. All right. How am I doing this? Okay. There. Okay. It's complaining because the belts are in opposite directions. Okay, now let's finish up this side of the rail. So these are going to be our exits. finally, that'll be for the stone. Okay. I think this looks pretty good. It looks nice on the map too. Okay, so we've got mixed belts of iron and coal over here. We'll have mixed belts of copper and steel up here. And then this will be stone up here. Okay, stone's going to be a 2000 multiple. That's one train. Okay. Let's get all this fixed. And it's complaining about the names of my train stations, I know. Okay, steel plate. And this will be copper plate. And hopefully, oh man, I hope that when I scale this up, I'll be able to mix belts the same way. Because if I can't, then I might have to move all these stations. Okay, so this one's going to be for steel, and that's going to have a 4000 multiple. And this one's going to be copper. That also has a 4000 multiple. I just copied that. Okay, let's get more power up here. And more power up here. Okay, so I'll finish building this and I'll start to get the trains running, and then in the next episode we can finish out the build, and at that point we'll be producing military science packs, and we can actually start to do a little bit more research. Not a lot, but we'll be able to get some stuff done while we get to work on a refinery. I think the refinery is next. Okay, logistics science packs is done. Yeah, so after military we'll do a lab, then the refinery, red circuits, and then we'll get to the blue science packs. And after that we'll build them all. All right, well thanks a lot for watching everybody. We'll see y'all soon. Bye-bye.